mess with these headphones on.
It's a
Just
nice
some
cut though.
absolute. Oh yeah, it had to get done. It was getting real slimy, real scummy looking.
Got it
It
lined
was
up. I
not
need to do
good,
that too. I'm getting
dude. It was
straggly in the
bad.
beard.
It was not good. Adjust the camera. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now the locks are looking good. Perfect. And the stash. Going real vicious with it. Real
Oh,
mean stash
that's a
there.
dirty stash.
Yeah, exactly. The girlfriend's not happy about it, but quite frankly, I do not care. She's
Oh,
gonna
I
she's gonna
love
have
it.
to roll with it for like a week or two, maybe a day or two.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's not going to be permanent, so she shouldn't worry too much.
No, no. Again, I went to the great land of sports clips last night and did not get the MVP experience this time around. No, it sounded
They're
great,
slapping
but
on that.
yeah, the lady wanted to get out of there. She even told me, she's like, me and the other girl, we're going drinking tonight. We're
Yeah.
going to Mackenzie's pub.
Oh, that's hilarious. Mackenzie's pub.
Yeah, exactly. Sherwood
You were in
staple there.
Sherwood then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Was in Sherwood. I don't know if you noticed also for the YouTube crowd out there that's viewing this live or after the fact. I can create the little headline for you here. So I don't know if you saw, I am a graduate of Got That Dog in
Dude, I
University.
saw I saw that. That's hilarious.
So let me see here. What can I put for you?
Got
We can
that
go like
dog in me.
let's see. Well, I don't know how to spell the word connoisseur. That's a tough one.
That is
That's a tough one.
I'm not a speller.
I don't do words very well. I don't do this whole spelling and reading thing. There we go. There we go. Toast connoisseur, baby.
Oh, that's
He knows the
hilarious.
breads, the types of jams. He knows
That's
it all.
quick. Yeah.
I'm quick with the fingers.
Yeah.
I'm fast with it.
Quick.
All right. Where did I want to get started? Oh, I wanted to get started with, because it's so fresh in the mind. One, can we never do 2 Monday Night Football games?
You're not
again?
a fan? You're not a
No.
fan of that? No?
No, I don't want. I
It's
will
a lot
say
to take in right there.
in the day and age of YouTube TV, where you can have like the dual games going at the same time, or the quad screen, sometimes on college football Saturdays. I there is something about Monday Night Football. I just want one game
right there.
I want to be locked in on the one game and have that action. That's
except for when one's a blowout like last night. Not even
very
close.
true.
I could tune in the other one and be a lot more entertained.
Yes, that is true.
Shitty Jags football.
You can cut one out. That game was over before the second one even started. Oh my god!
Yeah, after they punched in that second one, boom, done.
Yeah, it was bad. Not good. Not good.
Delivered.
But I wanted to start there because there is definitely some like quarterback questions coming out of a couple of those games, like at least 3. I put in like the details of today's episode of Fisch and Toast episode 4 that we've got an overpaid quarterback, we got an overhyped quarterback, and now one that's overperforming. And the overpaid one, Trevor Lawrence, dude. Like
Trevor Banks Stadium or whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
They put the stadium after him right now. Yeah. It's not looking good for him. That line is terrible. They're not giving him any time, but he looks frazzled in the pocket. And
we're going on
bad decisions.
We're going on what, year 4? Year 5 of Trevor Lawrence? It's and like also that pick he threw yesterday, like that was to Brian Thomas. I think that was just wide open going across the field and just airmails it to DeMar Hamlin. But
dude, he had multiple passes that were short hoppers, like just off, like he was not getting off his back foot and threw the ball because they were just short, off target. The receiver had no chance. So
I'm just baffled that we're getting to this, and I don't know. It was the first or second episode I brought up to you the Tua situation where it was like they paid him and it was like a year removed from his head injuries, and it's like, all right, I guess we're just gonna forget about that and act like that never happened and then just give him $200 million or whatever the contract was.
something.
And then
like
Jordan Love gets paid after 1 year, and Trevor Lawrence, he gets paid, and it was like, what is he getting paid for exactly? Just because of like, I'm sorry to bring it up.
Yeah, I know.
Comeback,
I know where we're going with this. I know. Trust me.
from a certain
I think
playoff
about it
game a
all
couple
the
years
time.
ago.
It's literally the worst loss that I've ever watched, I think, as a Chargers fan.
Hey, you and I are both in that same boat after my Cowboys playoff loss last year. So we have both experienced just soul crushing losses over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Kyle chiming
Yikes.
in on the chat, saying that Trevor Lawrence has a similar stats to Daniel Jones at this point.
It's true. Like, it's not good. Like, it looks terrible. And they're 0-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a stat on Trevor Lawrence because I saw something. I think it was yesterday that he was last in the league in something, and it's killing me what it is. But yeah, actually, I'm gonna see if I can try and share the screen right now so you can see this stat line comparison between Daniel Jones and Trevor Lawrence. 64% completion, 63. And I think that's what it was the completion percentage. But yeah, I mean, this is literally the career breakdown here of these two. My God. So if you're a Giants fan, you're doing pretty good.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, that's unreal.
Not good.
So yeah, and again, just like he gets the contract, and I'm like, okay, like, yeah, I guess he's been good. He's had flashes, but I mean, man, we're just banking on like, oh no, he'll just be extremely better. And just, he'll skyrocket after this, and his trajectory is only going up. And we are 3 games into it, but also the Jaguars' offense has not been great to start the season either.
Oh, it's been awful, and I think it starts with their line. He has 0 time. Not saying that that's like all their problems, but they have weapons. Like, it's not like these guys aren't somewhat open, but he's not getting them the ball. And when you can't stay clean in the pocket, we got problems, and that's what's happening right now with him.
No buen, senor. The other quarterback from last night's action that we have to again, we're 3 weeks in. No, I wanted to get to him, but first I want to start with Joe Burrow because we're now at 0-3.
Yes,
of the Cincinnati Bengals. Is Joe Burrow just riding the high and of his one great season essentially? Like
right.
kind of like
it
what's
looks like
happening
it
to
right
Trevor
now.
Lawrence.
Yeah, it
What was
looks
that?
like it right now.
Yeah.
Like,
And again, he's kind of going through the same stuff as Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence. It's like, his offensive line isn't really helping him out either. But God, what ugly start for the Bengals. I know they came back in the game last night a little bit, but I had them making the playoffs this year. Now you're sitting at 0-3. You got a lot of ground to make up.
After Cameron Taylor-Britt was talking all that shit, he got worked there last night. So,
and now, just looking ahead, I was curious. I'm like, okay, who do the Bengals have to avoid or beat to avoid going 0-4? And it's on the team that's on the rise right now, the Carolina Panthers.
Watch out, Andy Dalton.
Watch out. Going against his former team. Oh, this is setting up perfectly.
Revenge angle.
Oh my God. Is that at 10 a.m.? I got to double check. I was just looking. 10 a.m. next Sunday. Make that a prime time game.
Are we in Cincinnati or are we
Carolina? That is in Carolina.
Oh, that's perfect.
Imagine if they start 0-4 by losing to the Panthers. That is a bad look.
I hope that happens. I hope the Panthers just soar right now. All of a sudden, Andy Dalton makes a resurgence. It's like Joe Flacco's little resurgence he had last year, and we're seeing a nice. Well, do you see what the offense did when they actually had somebody could pass?
They put up a lot of points. Now, granted, you're playing the Raiders, but I mean,
yeah, and we played the Raiders too. We didn't put up that many points.
But yeah,
I mean, the Raiders did just beat the Ravens.
That's true. That's true. Something my Cowboys couldn't do.
Yeah. That game was wild, by the way.
What, the Cowboys game?
Yeah.
Yeah, wildly disgusting. It was like it was like them playing the 49ers in the playoffs again.
I thought you were going to make a comeback.
Yeah, that's what they do. And again, it was like those 49ers
Play
playoff
with your
games.
emotions.
Yeah, it's like, hey, how about we beat the shit out of you for like 2.5 quarters, maybe 3. And then we're gonna let you have some hope, and then we're still gonna beat you in the end.
We're gonna crush your dreams.
Yeah. We literally experienced in the last 2 weeks the Cowboys, the Packers game all over again, and then the 49ers playoffs games all over again. It's like a team just absolutely dominating you at home, and then you having a home game where you claw back against a good opponent, but then you still fall short. I'm surprised they didn't have Zeke line up at center the last play of the game again.
They should have. Bring him back out there. I mean, now they're 4.5 point favorites this week on Thursday. Was it Thursday night you guys have?
Yeah, it is a Thursday night game.
Yeah, against the Giants. Danny Dimes.
Yeah. Oh, God. I could totally see us losing that game. I could see us winning this game. I could see us losing this game.
I was going to say, I think this is a spot where you guys come out and play well.
Oh, God. How did this turn into a Cowboys thing? I was trying
You went there.
I was trying to dump on the Bengals. I was trying to dump on Trevor Lawrence. Now we're dumping on my Cowboys. Damn it. Rightfully so, though. They deserve it. But yeah, I mean, like the overpaid right now, Trevor Lawrence.
Yes.
Overhyped Joe Burrow. And
that then it's got to be a hand thing too. I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe it's not all the way. He says it's not, but I mean, he hasn't looked like his normal self. And I think that their weapons are fine around them right now. So it might just be a line thing, like most NFL lines. I feel like a lot of NFL lines suck this year for whatever reason. They have like one stud and then everyone else sucks. Yeah. And the Chargers just had both their tackles go down in one game. So that's sick. It's just getting bad. Joey Bosa goes down, of course. Darwin James gets suspended. So it's falling apart for the LA Chargers right now.
Well, Derwin James, he's a dirty player, man. You know, can't be doing that stuff.
He's playing hard. He's just playing hard.
Hey, it's that 6-inch radius on the crown of the helmet. Do not lower it, all right?
Yeah.
Which, on a random tangent, did you see Devontae Smith nearly die against the Saints?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And then another player, like, jumped on top, basically, and, like, trying to get the football or something. And
they're like, get someone out here, like, as he's just, like, out.
Yeah. And then, listen, and I tweeted this earlier today, and I don't want to overreact over one game, but I'm going to.
We cannot overreact.
I'm going to. I am. Is that we might have the second best team in the NFC East crowned already, and that is the Washington Commanders. Because Jaden Daniels, dude, holy shit,
he looked really good.
He's looked the best out of any rookie quarterback so far this year. Like if you look at each game, each rookie quarterback has started this year and played. This is the best one by far.
Oh, yeah.
That drop in the bucket to McLaurin at the end,
that was a really nice pass. Yeah.
Baller play, just getting bull rushed and just taking the hit and then dropping it in there. Like absolutely unreal. But he was just precisional. He was great the whole night. It was like, God damn.
Now let's see if we can repeat. Let's see if we can consistently do this.
I don't want to overreact, but I kind of do because it was like that was eye-opening. I was not expecting them to. Now I'm pretty sure you took the over in that game, so tip of the cap to you getting that.
I took the over and the Washington team total over 19.5.
You did,
so, yeah,
you did.
So I mean, I had that game pretty. I had a feeling Washington was going to come out and have a good game. Plus, that Bengals defense is not very good. Let's be honest.
Clearly not. I mean, 38 points to the Commanders. Now, again,
they're talking shit to Cliff Kingsbury all week. What do you think is going to come? They're going to come and like bust out everything they have in the playbook right now.
Were they really talking shit? What were they saying?
Yeah, and they even asked Cliff Kingsbury, like in one of the pressers, of like, like, hey, did you see Cameron whatever the hell his name is, Britt, talking about how vanilla and average your offense is?
Oh
And
boy.
he was like, oh, he had like just the most coach, like really good response to it, like mature, like he didn't feed into it at all. And you could tell that he was like locked in, like he's ready to go. And um, from then on, I was like, oh, oh, this
Oh
could be
yeah.
bad.
I'm seeing it
So,
right here. I don't know if you can hear that.
no, I mean, I can't. Oh, huh? Maybe
You pull maybe? Huh? It
I heard it for a
you?
second. Something.
Okay. Let me try and share this because yeah, it's got the I got the clip here from what's his nuts. Cam Taylor Britt
Yeah,
of
talking.
the Commanders. This is what he had to say about Cliff Kingsbury and that offense for Washington.
Yeah, compose. They don't make them do a lot, so they keep it really simple for them. Nice offense. Kingsbury's the OC, so a lot of move guys around here and there, but just keep it real simple for him. I heard his pass percentage is very high, but he's only throwing short.
He's only throwing short, and they go two ball. He gets beat bombs.
Damn, dude, what are you doing? That
Not
bulletin
be
board
doing that.
material.
Yeah,
Come
you
on.
cannot be doing that. Not in this league.
Well, now I'm curious to see Kingsbury's response and where that was at and what he said in response to that. I mean, what a game, though. I mean, I can live with the Commanders finishing second or even first in the NFC East. The Eagles, I can never live with that. I can't. I am not. That is not acceptable to me.
Yeah.
The Giants, I already have them finishing last in the division already, so I fully anticipate for that to happen. But the Commanders, I mean, left hand up. Who are we? Go Commanders.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously. What other so NFL wise, did you get your eyes on a few other games this
Yeah,
weekend?
so NFL, that was the day that I flew out from Scottsdale on
Okay.
Sunday. So I was able to catch a good amount of the morning games and then on the way to the airport a little bit, in the terminal and all that. And then they hit me with the goddamn turn airplane mode on around like 4:30 or something like that. And then I was in the dark for hours after that.
But did you see them blow the horns?
Yeah,
Blowing
unfortunately.
dude, that defense right now is impressing me. I watched most of or a lot of that game, I guess.
Well, I was
And
with shout out Sam Long, Vikings fan. So
okay.
he had that. He went east and went to Stream East to have that on his laptop.
Yep.
And then we had Red Zone on the TV. So I was watching, and last week I was like, dude, I'm on the Texans covering. Like, I do not think this Vikings team is for real. Like, I think this is the week it rubber meets the road. Oh my God. They just hounded Stroud. They were
all over him.
The defense was insane. That was one of my questions I wanted to pose to you for this week was what was the biggest surprise of week 3? Because that
was up there.
That has to be it.
I'm
kind of going back and looking at the scores, like in recapping some of the games. I mean, Panthers winning a single game is pretty surprising, but not really when they took out Bryce Young, went to Andy Dalton. Sorry to say this, bud, but Steelers getting the dub.
That wasn't surprising at all. Not to me.
Not to you.
No, I was waiting for this. I was waiting for us to get. We have like probably the most fraudulent 2-0 start. One of them. It hasn't looked pretty, and we've been getting by, and we're super injured. Like Justin is injured every week, and then he comes out. We got Taylor Heineke now, who's going to be running for his life. The Chargers right now.
Heineke balled out for Washington for a couple of years, all right, until he didn't.
Yeah, but I mean, what are we going to get? 1 or 2 like magic games, and the magic wears off, and then you still see our injured bones all over the place. Like he's going to be running for his damn life.
You got to throw Stick back out there, baby.
Yeah,
Live by the stick, die by the stick. Let's go.
We're just dying by the stick. There's no living, because without our starting tackles, this team's toast. Get it?
And you would know about toast. You're
That's
like,
burnt toast to you.
That is sourdough right there. That is burnt sourdough.
That's burnt sourdough. Maybe a little rye. That seems rye to me.
And then let's go. Bo Nix, baby, getting that first win. That was another surprising one.
See, that was like a good spot for him. I thought it was a good spot for him to get right, which is weird because of how well Todd Bowles puts together a defensive game plan, just blitzing all the time. But this was definitely one of those games. Like, he got out of a few of those tackles. He could have been so bad, sacks, but he was squirming around the pocket, finding little alleys, and then busting for what he bust for, like a 30-yard run one time.
22, yeah.
22, yeah. So he's showing improvement.
Like a 30-yard run because he was like 10 yards deep and had to sift his way through the line,
wiggle his way around. Yeah. So I mean, and that defense is legit. The defense never really was lost. It was always, what can this offense do? Can we score points? And I think it's going to be a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, he finished with 47 rushing yards. When I was looking at some bets and some player props Sunday morning, I saw his like rushing yards over under was like 30 something, and I was like, well, he was running for his life against the Seahawks. Like, he has to bail and he has to run a lot, and I didn't pull the trigger on it, and I fucking should have, because he ran for 47 yards, which I'm very confident that he hit the over on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And then but when we were talking about the Texans game, CJ Stroud finally threw his pick.
Yeah.
He finally threw his pick. He's been due, and he threw two of them. So
you were right on that.
There's no one. I was like, there's no one who deserved to throw a pick more than he did after all those. So I was pretty pumped about that. And then anyone thinking that the Dolphins had a shot to cover in that game is crazy.
Oh no, I took the Seahawks to cover on that. I think it was like 4.5, and I was like, no, absolutely not.
Didn't we see this Skylar Thompson experience already?
Yes, we've seen it multiple times now. He damn near died out there on Sunday.
The guy doesn't know how to throw a football, so. And then we're gonna go away. Like, Achane didn't get the rushing that I thought he was gonna get. They wouldn't even really dump it down to him. Like, Waddle, I think, had one catch for like 4 yards or something. Like, it was brutal.
I did a parlay for prop bets on Sunday, and I think like multiple ones didn't hit, but I took Tyreek Hill over 1.5 rushing yards. I was like, they need to just get the ball in playmakers' hands in any way possible. And they just need to give him a little jet sweep, have him do a little motion to the backfield and do something. And they were allergic to giving him the ball.
Yeah.
Dude, no, it was driving me. One, they weren't passing to him, but two, I was also like, dude, they were throwing the ball a disgustingly amount of times for having Skylar Thompson as their quarterback. I was like, they need to stop doing this. They need to somehow figure out a way to get the ball in their playmakers' hands without passing the ball more than 5-10 yards downfield. Like, this isn't working.
It was so bad that they brought Tim Boyle in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, Skylar Thompson almost died. So, I mean, there is that, but yeah, it was atrocious to watch. That, you're absolutely right. I saw that. I was like, Seahawks plus 4.5 at home with Skylar Thompson. Yeah, Seahawks money, or not money line, spread all day long on that. I did want to ask though, like, jump back on that Vikings game, because like that CJ Stroud performance, was that like quite possibly his worst game as a quarterback? I'm looking back at his game logs, and it's like, I have not watched every CJ Stroud game. I do not know like everything, like, game by game what he's done, but just like looking at his stat lines and just, again, seeing how that game ended up for that team, like, was that his worst start as an NFL quarterback.
It's definitely up there. I mean, it's not like he was terrible. He was 20 for 31, which is like not bad, but for only 215 yards,
Right.
and that's not going to get it done. Stephon Diggs was 1 for 13 yards in that game. Okay, the wide receiver pass, but yeah, it was definitely one of his worst games as a starting quarterback. And I think if you put together the right defense like the Vikings have right now, I think you can give a lot of people problems, not just
All right.
CJ
So
Stroud.
it definitely wasn't his worst game because now I'm looking at his like box
He's had some
score
bad
game
ones.
logs. Yeah, and I think I vaguely remember this last year against the Jets. They lost 30-6, and he went 10 for 23 for 91 yards. No touchdowns, no picks, but
Yeah, that's bad.
yeah, that's really bad. And then he played they played Baltimore at the beginning of the year, but it wasn't didn't turn the ball over, didn't have any touchdowns. 28-44 at the beginning of last year. 28-44, 242 yards, 0-0. So wasn't his worst game ever, but it's up there, man. As far as like team performance and what the offense did, that is definitely one of his worst losses as a starting quarterback. I don't know if I want to react to it too much because Minnesota is just on a heater right now. They're playing.
I'm not taking too much of it. That's what I've been trying to tell myself every week, a week at a time. There's a few things that you can take from each game, but don't overreact. And it's a week to week basis in the NFL.
And then you got Jags at Texans next week.
Yeah.
That's the matchup. 10 o'clock kick.
It's not great. I will say one of my most surprising games of the weekend was the Rams coming back from 14 down two different times. Two different times they were down 14. And
that was a game. That was a game that
it was a roller coaster.
I took the Rams to cover. And when I got on the airplane, they were down. And I'm pretty sure the 49ers like had the ball. I would have to go back and look and see what the score is, but the 49ers had the ball. I want to say they were up 10 or something like that at that point.
They were up 14 two different times, so pick each time, like whatever time you want.
It was the latter one because again, I got on my plane around like 4:30 is when they told us to shut the devices off, and I was watching that game and I'm just like, son of a bitch. So I had to turn the phone on, and then when I popped it back on once I finally landed, I was like, oh my God, they did it. Those sons of bitches, they did it.
Yeah.
Absolutely wild ending sequence. I mean, with what happened with Purdy, just running for his life, almost getting that third down, and then them having to give the ball back, the pass to Tutu Atwell, the missed field goal by Moody, it was an absolutely insane ending.
Now, is this the Rams being clutch and Sean McVay doing a good job down the stretch, or do we have things to worry about with the San Francisco 49ers right now?
Well, half their team is dead, it seems like.
Yes.
So, there is that. But so are the Rams. I mean, they were injured too.
I was going to say, it's two dead teams, and one team has, you would think on paper, has significantly more talent. But even with, the Rams had Kyron Williams. They ran him into like 24 carries, 89 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So I guess that's not too crazy, but I guess their defense came up with some big stops when they needed to. Really, is what it comes down to.
Yeah,
it wasn't anything too eye-popping, honestly, but
fucking A. The win probability for the 49ers, 93.9% with 2 minutes and 48 seconds left. And then it just plummets. It just plummets from there. Also, Juwan Jennings, I think that was one of the picks that I had in my parlay that actually did hit on
Did you do 3.5 receptions?
No, I just did over on his yards.
Oh,
I was like, I was like, once Kittle and Debo were ruled out, and then Brandon Ayuk is dropping every ball. It seems like is coming his way.
Juwan Jennings looks like a pro. They were making him look like a Pro Bowler out there.
Yeah, 11 catches, 175, 3 touchdowns. Absolutely.
His line was 3.5. It was like it happened. I think he covered in like the first quarter. I was like, what the hell?
It was very early on that he covered that yardage for me too. But But yeah, that the ending as far as like biggest surprise ending comeback of the week, it was definitely that Rams game. Huge win for them. And now the 49ers are 1-2 also. I mean, and they are not healthy. I'm trying to see who they play next week, but that's a tough one to lose. Oh, well, they do get the Patriots next, so they might
I don't
be
think
fine.
you can start. There's no panicking, but it's a lot of like.
You just need to get healthy.
Yeah, we need to get some guys healthy. We need to get in a groove. We need to figure out what's going wrong right now because you can't be dropping those games to the Rams. At least it wasn't at home.
Speaking of dropping, did you see the fans getting dropped in the at SoFi Stadium? The big ass fight that was breaking out.
Dude, there's so many fights at SoFi. It's usually between like visitor fans. Like usually it's Vegas fans beating up Vegas fans at SoFi.
Well, when it's 75% LA or San Francisco 49er fans, I could understand why Rams fans were upset that their stadium got overran once again.
It's an every day. It's an every week thing for LA.
There was a picture. I'm going to see if I can pull it up of the stadium when it was like filled, and it's just red. Like the entire crowd is just red.
When I went to that Chargers Broncos Monday night game, I thought I was at Mile High instead of. I was like, "What the hell?" Like, there's a few Justin Herbert jerseys right next to me, but majority, I had Russell Wilson jerseys all over the place. So I was like, "What is this?"
Now you can find those at TJ Maxx. Let me try and pull up this. I'm going to pull up this video here of the sea of red. You see that?
That's insane.
There's just the move to LA is going fantastic. Good for them.
The support's unreal.
God. So I mean, week 3, biggest surprise, definitely that Vikings win. They're now 3-0. I mean, you know your team better than me. So the Steelers beating the Chargers, just seeing the Steelers 3-0 under any capacity is surprising.
I will give you that. That defense is nasty. It really is.
Like year after year, like clockwork. It's like, okay, this is the year that Tomlin is going to finish below 500.
Nope.
They would have to go 5-9 the rest of the year, which is entirely possible. Maybe they just start shitting bricks at this point. And
I don't know. That guy wakes up and gets 8 wins. No problem.
I am never betting against Mike Tomlin as long as he's a head coach. I will any line that I see the Steelers a part of, I'm like, no, not touching it. Not going.
I think Skylar Thompson could go there and win 8 games somehow. Like,
dude, for real.
It doesn't really matter. TJ Watt's going to win you at least 2 games a season somehow. I have to give a shout out real quick to Kyle and Josh for I talked a lot of shit about Malik Willis and that the Titans team going to be able. I put my hand up. I bet the Titans, and it was a bad bet. It was really bad because I bet the Titans are wishing they had Malik Willis right now or something. But
dude, that was a pretty eye-opening game too. I was pretty shocked by that.
Green Bay's defense has really impressed me over the first few weeks, and the way that they're getting wins without Jordan Love right now is just kind of like, wait till he's healthy. Wait till he's completely healthy. We can keep running this like gimmicky offense, but he still threw for 202 yards and a touchdown against his former team. So you knew he was getting ready and then he ran the ball for 73 yards and another touchdown. So he significantly better than Will Levis's 2 interceptions again. The guy can't stop throwing picks.
Yeah, it is. Bad
decision after bad decision.
Over under 5 games before they. Let's go over under 6 before they move off from Will Levis.
I feel like you kind of got to give him a shot for a while, right? Before you go to Mason Rudolph.
I'm intrigued to see what happens over the next. You get your weekly dumbass moment by him, and so you're going to get that. I would say at least 3 more games, and then they're going to yank him.
Because what are we really expecting from the Titans this year? Are we expecting a playoff? No.
No,
We're
that is
expecting them to probably finish below, maybe at the bottom of their division.
rightfully so. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, unless the Jags have something to say about that, which I would
Yeah,
be shocked.
I've been really wrong on the Jags so far this year, so
Oh, dude,
I
and
don't know if I
gonna say
can say anything on that division.
catch the fever for this next Monday night. And we, for some reason, do have a double Monday night, a double header on Monday night again. But the first one, Titans Dolphins, baby. Oh, yeah. Oh,
That
yeah.
is gross.
Let's go. And then the
That is
Seahawks Lions, much better. I'll
Yeah.
definitely be tuned into that one.
Do you see the Lions breaking out those black jerseys? They look sick.
Not bad. I like the Cardinals black jerseys last weekend too.
Yeah.
Those are pretty clean. All right, for the sake of time, let's switch to the college rank, shall we?
Awesome. Yeah, I watched so many games on Saturday. It was unbelievable. But I think we need to start out on Friday. At least mention Walmart Mahomes getting beat.
Oh yeah, rightfully so. And thank God.
Yeah, it was about time. I needed that for my health. And then probably
a lot of people did.
the best game that I've watched this year was San Jose Washington State. That went so
that
late,
was
54-52 finish. With if you're not watching John Mateer play, he's must-watch TV. He is.
You texted me if I was watching that, and I was like, I didn't text you back, but yes, I was locked in on that. I could not believe what was happening. Like, just an absolute. That's Pac-12 football, baby.
Pac-12 after dark. You're right. Yeah, it is ridiculous.
That's current and future Pac-12 after dark.
Oh my gosh, my guy Nick Nash for San Jose State. I had him over 80 yards, and oh my god, 16 receptions, 152 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This guy is an NFL guy, 6'3". I mean, he's got size, he's got the hands, he's legit. And
Nick Nash sounds like a wrestler.
Yeah, right. He's been doing it for multiple years at San Jose State. This ain't nothing new.
Jesus Christ. He already has 637 yards receiving and 8 touchdowns this year.
Dude, he's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
And I got to give Ken Niumatalolo some serious credit for bringing in an offense that is absolutely firing right away with the backup with Washington State's last year's backup. They brought him in, and he went against his former team and absolutely was throwing the pigskin around. But
I was going to say, for bringing in an offense that's not the triple option.
No, it's the exact opposite. It's airing the ball the fuck out because that's what you got. You got a bunch of guys who can catch the ball. And San Jose State made some really tough catches too. I was like really surprised by some of their guys, but John Mateer is someone you want to watch every week because
Dude, just backyard football.
It is the best. He reminds me kind of like a faster, more elusive Baker Mayfield. Just all the heart in the world, just willing that team. He had 390 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and then 18 carries for 111 in a touchdown. I mean, it's unfair sometimes. That's why I'm so excited to watch him against Boise State this week.
Yeah, that'll be a fun game. Get that guy a lifetime supply of Cougar Gold, please. All right.
Oh, yeah, and he seems like an awesome teammate, someone you want to play with.
Which I have never had before. Have you had the Cougar Gold cheese?
No.
Yeah, I have yet to have it, but everybody and their mom that went to Wazoo just claims it's one of the best cheeses in the world. I don't know if I believe that a canned cheese is that good.
It's tough to believe. I agree.
Yeah. The only cheese that I know comes in a can is fucking Cheese Whiz. So I can't.
Yeah. Which Cheese Whiz? We can get by with that. We can get by with it.
No.
Cheese, a little Cheese Whiz.
Right in the garbage. Right in the garbage.
That's fair. That's fair.
Clown cheese. That's a clown cheese, bro. All right. No good. Also, I mean, this is something that I think is starting to show itself a bit in college football. is it seems like there is just kind of like an upper echelon, a tier 1 in college football. I mean, granted, it's like basically the SEC, but my God, like damn near every top 10 team outside of Missouri just absolutely boat raced whoever they were playing this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, but they were playing just like, yeah, I guess there's clear talent like gap. Yes.
But we have seen that some of these lower tier schools like keeping it a little bit closer this year, and then some of the games that we thought like maybe this team has a chance to keep it interesting, like the Miami South Florida game.
Yeah, that was a little disappointing. Well, at first it looked like it was going to be a good game in the first half, at least.
Fireworks, baby.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a really good game, and then it kind of just got away from them. It really got away from them.
So Sam's older brother, apparently he had to make a casino run before our golf round on Saturday because he had to place a bet on the money line for UL Monroe.
What in the world is that bet? On Archman, what did he put, $5?
He should have put 0. I mean, that was the whole philosophy. First start for him. I'm like, all right, did we not? I know it's his first start, but did we not see what he did last week? And just
UL Monroe was starting General Booty as their quarterback, so that's what you're getting.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, Sam told me that a couple times. I was like, well, why? I was like the spread. And he's like, no, money line. He thinks, and I was like, stop. That's not necessary. He can just give me the money, and I'll place a bet for him.
If he giving donations out like that, come on.
But yeah, it just seemed like the top 10 teams just, again, they're like, and then outside of that, like outside of the top 10, you had USC lose to Michigan, and we already saw what Michigan was like against Texas at home. So it's like both of those teams are in tier 2, and we were kind of right about USC. It's like in that win against LSU to start the season, like how good is LSU really? Well, they couldn't even fucking cover against UCLA, which
they're a joke.
Makes me sick to my goddamn stomach because it was the last leg of my parlay. And I have to ask you this, because you have laid many parlays in your day.
Yes.
Would you, what's worse to you? Losing a parlay earlier, but then everything else in the parlay hitting, or losing it on the last leg?
Losing on the last leg.
Yeah. And really that seems like the right answer, but later in the day, because I was out golfing, I didn't get to watch as much college football as I would have liked. Sam and I and his wife, we go out and we get drinks, and then I'm kind of checking on scores, looking at things, and I noticed that the UCLA LSU game was earlier in the day, so that didn't hit, but then everything else hit. So 5 out of 6 on the leg hit, and then when I saw that, that's when I was like, God fucking damn it, dude!
That's so frustrating. I've been in that position before.
That was one that I was like, I felt like the best about in the 6. Like I took I think the Bowling Green covering was in there.
Oh, Harold Fannin, dude. Harold Fannin Jr. again. 11 receptions, 145 yards and a touchdown. It doesn't matter who he's playing. He can play Penn State. He can play Texas A&M. This guy is legit. So I love that you were on Bowling Green there. That was a great spot.
So yeah, and also it was very nice being in Arizona and just going on the DraftKings app and being able to bet college football right in there.
So awesome.
It was very nice. It was very nice.
Like advice, you can take it, leave it. I don't follow it all the time, but when you are on the last leg of those parlays, if it happens to be a game that has not started yet, you could always go hedge it too.
Yeah.
By playing the other side, that's guaranteed money for yourself.
Yeah.
At least whatever. It's not always going to work out like that, but if the game hasn't started and you're down to your last leg, then sometimes I'll just go guarantee myself money. Like,
there you go.
It doesn't matter. Go bet the other side, and then you'll win a little bit less than what you would normally, but you'll still
recoup some of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that parlay. So it was LSU was the only one that didn't cover. I took Cal Florida State under, And God, we were so close to getting the Cal victory.
That was in mine too. That was in mine too. The one that I hit, the Cal Florida State under.
Bowling Green, the Miami South Florida first quarter total over.
Dude, that was surgical.
Ballsy. Balls.
Very ballsy, but hey.
Graduate of got that dog in me university, okay? Louisville cover and then the Buffalo cover. And that of all those, again, like the Buffalo one, I was
Buffalo.
like,
that's good.
Louisville, I was like, Georgia Tech hasn't had a bad start to the year. That first quarter one, risky. The Bowling Green plus 22.5 against Texas A&M. You probably felt better about that than I did.
Yeah.
The Cal Florida State under 44.5. I was like, I'm very confident about that.
I felt great about it.
Yeah. And then sure enough, LSU 21.5 at home against UCLA. Like I am not happy with LSU. I am less of an LSU fan more than ever because of that shit.
LSU is just dog shit.
Yeah.
They really are disappointing.
Well, now we got to play a UCLA team coming up that's feeling like they can compete with the top 25 teams, and I don't like that. I mean, granted, they didn't score in the second half, I'm pretty sure. So, but
if we do come out and look good, at least we can kind of give ourselves like, hey, we're better than LSU. That's what I'm telling myself. Maybe let's just look better than what LSU looked, and then maybe we'll get some respect.
Again, to kind of recap a little bit of what you said a bit ago about Illinois beating Nebraska. Illinois, keep racking up those wins, baby. Keep racking them up until October 26th. Please do.
Tyler just told me you got tickets to that game as well.
The Illinois game?
Yep.
I'm trying to get to that one as well. Because there was only 3 games on the schedule for the Ducks that I could get to this year. It was the Ohio State game. Check. I'll be there for that one. Cannot wait. The Illinois game was the other one, and Washington.
Yeah.
So the Illinois one, I'm hoping that some tickets become available, and that I would love to take Joey down there because I was talking to my coworker, and he's been to a couple Oregon games. He went to the BYU one a couple of years ago, 2 years ago. But I want to get him down there because I was talking to a coworker about like college campuses and game day environments for football and basketball. And I was like, dude, I just need to get Joey down there and take him around campus and walk him around the University of Oregon campus and show him around. Because as a kid being on a college campus, like there's this feeling like you shouldn't be there. Like don't, like I shouldn't be walking around like,
hey, this is not allowed.
I don't belong here. Yeah. But so I'm hoping that that's the case, that I can get him to that one. The one game I did catch, and I put some scratch on this one. Oh my God. BYU against Kansas State.
Did you play BYU?
Yes.
Fuck yeah. Let's go.
I was saying on Friday, I was like, dude, BYU, Provo, they're kicking off 8:30 their time, which I think is 9:30 in Kansas State. Like, they just whooped the shit out of them. That was unreal.
I placed another wager in that game of Avery Johnson under 181 passing yards because
I think that was like, I mean, that is like his only road game start that he's like ever had in an environment like that.
Yeah. I mean, that I was watching that and I was like, I hope this guy starts studying finance because he ain't making the league with that.
Or he could make a career out of being a Jackson Holiday doppelganger. My God, he looks just like him.
Yeah, he
is that the helmet on? That is bizarre. So yeah, I went off of that because I was just, I'm like, that environment to me is just weird.
It was wild.
Playing at BYU that late at night, Kansas State, I felt was just, that Arizona game was maybe a little bit of fool's gold, and sure enough, BYU now 4-0 after winning that one.
Yeah, that's a tough spot to go play on the road right there. I had a feeling that might happen. Did you happen to see like my two of my bets that I talked about on the pod last week were one that Kent State Penn State over 55.
Yes. And you were right on that.
By half a point. Penn State punched in that late touchdown. Like they could have just kneaded out on the one.
Like you said, James Franklin, no mercy.
He's ruthless. And the funny thing is, I looked at the Kent State team total that day. I was like, are we getting any points from Kent State? It was it was half a point. It was half a point. Their team total was half a point that day. And they didn't get it. And then my other one was Iowa State, Arkansas State over 51.5. And Iowa State covered it themselves. I said Iowa State was going to do majority of the work. I didn't know that they were going to do it by themselves. But
I had Arkansas State covering because
I'm crazy. You should have asked me. I was dialed.
We talked about this on Friday, and I was trying to re-jog my memory. I'm like, I'm pretty sure Tanner was high on high on this game, and I couldn't remember if it was to cover or just the point total.
I was on Iowa State spread. I had their team total. I was on. This was like the perfect little spot for them.
You were hyping up Butch Jones, is what you were doing.
Oh, Butch Jones! I was. Yeah, I do.
You were getting me on the Butch Jones train, is what you were doing.
But yeah, Butch Jones. Yeah, he's had a few questionable stops in his day.
I expect you to Venmo me money for losing that one.
And then Indiana getting it done, winning by 28. Kurt Signetti keeps the train rolling. It is a wagon, and you better get the hell out of the way because Curtis Rourke right now in that offense is something to watch. I mean, they haven't played anyone, but watch out. They're about to be 5-0 when they beat Maryland this week. I'm calling it here right now. We're getting it. And they're probably going to cover too. 7 points. It's all you need. 7. They're 4-0. Their win total is 5.5.
I'm trying to think. Maryland. Who did they play recently where it was just like, oh God, that's not good. They lost to Michigan State. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was a really crazy game.
That was, yes. And then the last one that I won of my bets that cashed was the Washington covering against Northwestern. That safety had me nervous, but
I had the under in that game, which was
that definitely hit. I mean, what was it? 29 total points. I mean, for God's sakes,
43 was the total. It was even the low total.
God, I'm still so upset that Florida State ended up winning that game.
I know. I wanted Cal. To be undefeated. So when Cal hosts Miami, I think next week. Not this week, but next week.
A vaunted ACC matchup.
Exactly. They just walk into the sleepiest atmosphere there, just sleepwalking through Berkeley. And then
oh my God, Cal does it.
Oh, they're rushing the field, Jaden Knott, 300 yards rushing, just all over. But
all right. You just said it, and I have to bring it up because, it was a great game, great finish. Colorado beating Baylor, but why are we rushing the field?
Figure it out. I mean,
that is despicable.
Mediocre Baylor team, a mediocre Baylor team, and you should have lost, and exciting you won, but you guys barely won a conference game.
That is because I remember, you remember my brief stint as a Colorado fan back in 2009.
Oh, I remember. Go Buffs.
Yep, that's right. Go Buffs. Once a Buff, always maybe not. But I remember one of the reasons why Colorado was appealing to me is because I remember Colorado beating West Virginia in 2008 when West Virginia had Pat White. I don't know if Tavon Austin was on the team. Noel Devine was on the team.
Steve Slayton.
I don't know if Slayton was there.
He was on a different team, I think.
But West Virginia, top 25 team. This was like a Thursday night game or something like that. They went into Colorado and lost. And the fans, rightfully so, because it's a top 25 win, they flooded the field. And it was like a blackout night in Boulder. And just the whole field just black.
storm
covered with students. Yeah, it was an awesome sight. And I was like, that's badass. I like that. Go Buffs, baby. So I remember when they would do that, and now you are rushing the field for a shitty win against Baylor at the last second. I mean, not shitty, but again, this ain't like you're taking out a top 25 team here, for God's sakes.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's nothing to get excited about, really. You should be actually a little pissed leaving that game. And then that's exactly why I've already placed on Sunday when it came out, I placed UCF minus 13. It's up to 15.5, 16 at some places. And they are going to get smoked in Orlando, in the bounce house. It's going to be crazy.
Colorado at UCF, you said?
At UCF, yeah. They're traveling to
That's a conference matchup.
Yep.
It's so bizarre, some of these, like, now that they're actually happening and you see that they're a conference matchup, you're just like, wait, what? And you're like, oh yeah, I guess
like Washington traveling to Rutgers this week on Thursday.
God, kill me now.
On a short week. Yeah, good luck with that spot.
Yeah, Stanford, Clemson, ACC matchup.
Yeah. It's just, it's bizarre to think about.
It is very weird.
I did need to bring up a couple games to you, or just a couple bizarre things. Did you happen to see anything with this crazy shootout in SMU TCU when Sonny Dykes got thrown out of the game in the first half?
Dude, I didn't. I had heard that he got thrown out. I think it was like I just saw it in passing.
And then you have Kendall Briles out there head coaching the rest of the game, and it's just a TCU might as well just not have got off the bus. Like, it was hilarious. That was the first time I've seen a coach in a little bit get thrown out like that. And then
what happened? So, like, why did he get thrown out? Just losing his mind on the ref?
Yeah, 2 separate personal foul penalties for him. Like, he kept yelling at the ref. And then in this Arkansas-Auburn
that's just a football guy move, okay? You got to respect that.
I mean, I understand that, but you got to love him.
He is full of piss and vinegar. I'm looking at the video right now.
Oh, you are?
Oh, man. Yeah. He is not happy.
So then we got this Arkansas-Auburn game. Auburn decides to start their backup, Hank Brown, and he comes in. He has himself a just shit day. There's a point in time in that game where there was 3 interceptions thrown in 26 seconds. 26
just
seconds
back and forth, just chaos.
Oh, Hank Brown goes in there and throws 3 interceptions. Yeah, and Taylon Green goes and throws 2. And then, hey, let's bring in – actually, we're going to bench Hank Brown, who we just brought in, bring back in Peyton Thorne, and have him come in and he'll throw an interception. How about that? It's awful right now.
I want to get the supercut, just the back and forth clips of that happening. Just pick after pick.
I want to see if someone has the 26 seconds all mashed up into the 3 interceptions thrown, because it was unbelievable.
Who ended up pulling that one out?
It was Arkansas.
Yeah, going into that game, I was like, Arkansas should win this one. I mean, they took Oklahoma State to the wire, and Auburn lost to Cal, which shocking there. Arkansas, and here it is. Yeah, Arkansas and Auburn, 3 picks in 26 seconds.
Yeah, right before halftime. It was the most sloppy shit. I was like, what am I watching right now? Like,
that's what that's why you love college football right there, for an absolute slop fest.
It was hilarious.
College athletics. This happens in college basketball too, where you're just like, oh my God, this is so bad it's good.
It was so bad, it was so funny. I was just laughing by myself. I was like, there's no way that this is happening.
The range of emotions in that stadium.
But that wasn't the only like high scoring. Did you see James Madison put up 70 on North Carolina? That was something.
Yeah, 70-50.
Just a shootout.
That reminds me of a couple weeks ago when, South Alabama, they put up 87-10. And I I was like, God, can you imagine like someone betting on the other team? Like, I'm feeling good about them covering. I'm feeling good about this. Like there was a couple people out there that put money on the under for James Madison, North Carolina. I like it. I like the spot yeah. I'll put some put money on that.
This
I'm
would be a
feeling good about
defensive battle here.
120 points later.
Just like, oh, you saw the first play of that game, you're like, we're toast. There was a lot of fluke shit that happened in that game, but that's why you also love college football.
And I wonder if there was anybody out there that bet it up. Is like, you know what? I think that point total is too low. I'm going to tease that baby up and add a couple more points to that.
Oh, they could have got a little alternate spread on that, a little ultimate total.
I'm raising this pitch to 90. Yeah. I feel like they could score 100 in this game.
Have you seen North Carolina's defense? Did you see I was watching a little bit of that BYU game, but I was dialed into this East Carolina Liberty game late night when
sounds like something you would be dialed into.
It had an 8-hour delay, and for this game, it didn't finish till 2 a.m. East Coast because it was in Virginia. Yeah, and there were still fans in the stands. I would have just been like, "Hey, we're doing this late delay. Let's just either cancel the game or let your fans go home," because it was a great game too. And of course I had little betting implications on it, but
of course you did. That's why you stayed up and watched it.
Yeah, but I mean, it ended up being a really good game too. In East Carolina, another choke job by them.
I see a Liberty scoring 14 in the second half or the fourth quarter there. Looking at the box score.
Yeah, it was just
what time did it finish?
Well, it finished 2:01 a.m. Eastern. So
okay. So about 11. Because I was going to ask, I was like, so did Hawaii not finish their game first? Was it this Liberty East Carolina? Usually Hawaii is the last one to call the college football weekend.
Yeah. So. Someone needs to talk to Kyle Whittingham, by the way, and stop hoodwinking us with this injury report bullshit, because he's all week saying, yeah, Cam Rising's going to play. Cam Rising's going to play. It comes out Cam Rising's not playing, and we knew it from the start. And Isaac Wilson goes in there, and he does enough, but they hand the ball off 25 times to Bernard, who does the job, and Oklahoma State just looks pathetic on offense. I did not expect that, but Utah shut them the hell down all game.
Dude, Kyle Whittingham, that dude just keeps doing it year after year after year. Just like with nothing. I shouldn't say with nothing, but again, just like fully expecting to go into the year with Cam Rising and then just loses him after a couple games. And he's like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do, but we'll figure it out.
We'll run the ball and we'll play really good defense, and it's like the Mike Tomlin way. He's got the Mike Tomlin down. That's for sure.
A little bit. Yeah. Well, and then now Utah just looking ahead. They got Arizona, Arizona State, TCU, Houston. I mean, we could be looking at a holy war with ranked Utah BYU on November 9th.
That's going to be crazy in Utah. You do not want to do that.
And I'm trying to get BYU's schedule pulled up to see what they're looking at the next couple of weeks. I mean, they got Baylor next week, Arizona, they'll have Oklahoma State, and then Central Florida before that game.
Oh, those are tough games. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, those last two, the Oklahoma State, UCF. I mean, those will be interesting. But imagine we get an undefeated Holy War.
That would be a sight to see. I must need to book my ticket to Utah now. But the main, I guess, one of the main events on Saturday was that Tennessee-Oklahoma game. Did you catch any of it?
No, I was golfing.
Okay. I'll give you a gist of it. It was basically what I thought would happen. Jackson Arnold was overwhelmed all night by the injuries that their offensive line have. Tennessee was in the backfield constantly. Oklahoma couldn't run the ball. It got so bad that Oklahoma had to bench Jackson Arnold and go to true freshman Tyler Hawkins, who comes in. And now that they've announced that Tyler Hawkins is now going to be the starting quarterback, and the 5-star Jackson Arnold will be on the bench. So that's how it's going in Oklahoma right now. And that score where you see 25-15 was not indicative of how that game played out, because I think Josh Heupel was being nice to the city, the team, his old school, or whatever, because he could have made that a lot worse. Not necessarily. Oklahoma defensively played their ass off. Brett Venables.
You hold Tennessee to 25. I mean, that is they've been one of the best offenses this year. So seeing that game go under actually caught me by surprise. I think I lost some money on that because I took the over of it.
Oh, you should have been talking to me, because I took the under in the first half. But
again, another Venmo transaction, please.
Those were two guys that were with each other at Oklahoma at one point in their careers, Venables and Heupel, and they know each other very, very well. And if there's anything that Brett Venables can do, it's put together a great defensive game plan. And he had those guys play their ass off. They had an answer for almost everything Tennessee wanted to do that night. And if it wasn't for Tennessee breaking a few and little plays here, dink and dug, but Tennessee's defense was all over them all night. And 15 points is generous that they scored, because Tennessee's defensive line is legit. It is really legit, and Oklahoma's not going to go anywhere if they can't block. They got another guy hurt in that game on the offensive line, and it was tough to watch, like, them just get pushed all night up front, and it was wearing on them all game, and they couldn't do anything. Nico didn't even have that great of a game. Honestly, they couldn't run the ball. Like, Oklahoma stopped them from running, so it was pretty surprising. But I was really happy with the way that Brett Venables put together that defensive game plan for them.
Well, I'm gonna end it on this because I gotta go scamper to do some baseball stuff on 1080 The Fan. But the Volunteers are, as of this point, the number one defense in college football.
It does not surprise me.
176 yards per game they're giving up.
And their corner, who had 2 picks in that game, McCoy, he's a transfer from Oregon State this year. Jermon McCoy, number 3. He just transferred there. Oregon was in the running for him, but he chose Tennessee.
Wow.
But he had himself a good game.
Tennessee second in defensive rush yards per game, and then do some little counting here: 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11th in passing yards per game on defense. What a year for Tennessee so far!
Yeah, they look legit. They really do.
They just got to go unscathed these next couple weeks. Get your win in Fayetteville. Take care of Pig Suey. You'll definitely take care of Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to take care of Arkansas. You're going to win against Florida, and then you got potentially a top 5 matchup against Alabama on the October 19th.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama is their biggest game they have.
Yeah. Well, they'll have Georgia at the end of the year too. But again, if we get to November, give me unscathed. Give me, honestly, Tennessee beating Alabama. I would love to see a Georgia-Tennessee matchup at the end of the year with Tennessee undefeated, because right now they're playing like they are one of the best teams in college football. And I mean, obviously they're top 5 and just reading off those numbers to you. But I would, at this point, I would take them over Alabama. And I know Alabama's been good. They're always great, but Tennessee has just been uber impressive to start the year.
Yeah. I mean, we get to see a little bit this week, Alabama and Georgia play. So I'm sure we'll do a little preview on that later this week.
Yeah, that's wild. We'll either try and jump on Thursday or Friday morning again. Either way, I would love to do a little bit more previewing of the games. And we kind of did our Bread and Lox in that college football segment, but we'll definitely have to do Bread and Lox on either Thursday night or Friday morning. And I'll coordinate with you. We'll get a time locked in.
That sounds good, bud.
Yeah. All right. Fish and Toast, episode 4 in the books. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it as always.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right. See ya.
Peace.